All right, Super Coaches, we're in for our round one results video. Super excited to go through this one, given it was a wild week. And some teams have a lot to change. Some teams might be able to hold fairly steady. And I'm personally very happy with how my week ended up with round results here for my team. And then I had the head-to-head team, which we'll go through in the second part of this video. So yeah, push through for each one of those, whichever one you'd like to see. But to a 9-14, it was headlined by a couple of good pod plays for myself. So just under 140,000 teams were entered in round one. I end up at 28,249. So very happy with that. Obviously with the top tier guns in the Pongers, Clearys and Hines, who I had all three. Captained Cleary to still end up at this stage here with not a lot to change in my personal opinion. I'm very, very happy with where we're at here. So we'll go into my squad and look at the scorers that I did end up having. I have moved one thing around. So Lukey was in there for both for more. So we'll go into the game day section and go through that here. But let's just go into the public league I am in and look at where we're at. So I had Trbojevic, Totola, Terrell May, so that was a big win for me there, obviously. Ponga with the 50 turned out to be one of the better captaincy decisions, didn't he? Which is funny. My pod play in Luke Metcalf worked out really, really well. I'm worried about them this week and how he might score against the Storm, but a great first round option there for me. Very, very happy with that. Paired him with Dylan Brown, who picked up a 54, which was okay to start. We had Tental Picky with 49. Very happy with his base efforts there. As I said, Hines and Cleary there, reserve and captain for Nath. Drew Hutchison, the 34. So my main issue, guys, was that I didn't play Burbo in that first couple of games, which then meant I had to have another player be my 17th man. And that ended up being Drew Hutchison in this one with a 34. So I lost out 38 points, which would have taken me to 952, which I still think in the grand scheme of things, it's not a massive difference. Obviously, we don't want to get those wrong each and every week, those little 17th man decisions, but it happens. Like last year, there was one week where Dream Buller got over 100 and I traded him in but didn't play him, for example. So got good cash rises but didn't get the great score. And that's what we're going to see out of Burbo. And I'll likely play him this week. But Hutcho, the 34, both for more the 34 as well. Hoped for more there. No pun intended. Yeah, I suppose he didn't look as good as he did in the trial, and he copped a bunch of missed tackles there on the Dragons, just playing really well, especially those edge guys, centers, the edge back rows as well, which was great for them. Not good for Bowie, but we'll have to work out. He's my one decision. I'm not sure what to do given he has the bye, but we'll wait till team lists and make our decisions from there. Hillam Lukey, the 63, end up with a try and a nice offload near the end there. So he was solid and looks like they're going to work him up to 80 minutes. The upside that he has on the attack just means that I think he needs to stay in everyone's side. Went for Brandon Smith, so he got beat by Grant by I think 1 point. So we'll take that for Brandon and Pikuru the 4. So to have that in there, happy with Smithies, really happy with Taylor May, and then Zach Labart was my big pod play of the week. Obviously, if you've been following along, guys, I've been talking him up at that mid-range price. Did end up deciding to go for him over Roger, so this worked out for me in round one. We'll see what happens in round two when they come up against the Knights, I believe. So hopefully for our cows, Maluki and Labart, they can continue to get attacking stats and do good things. So overall there, guys, it's a tale of two halves. We've got my pod plays in Metcalf and Labart doing really well, Tyrrell May as well. And then we had a slightly unders game from Totola. Trbojevic was good, Tom and Burbo. But Hines and Cleary were down. Brown was fairly well down in that one, both for more, who's we expect big up from him. And Ponga as well, we're all a bit down. So maybe next week it's Labart and Metcalf to go down a bit and all my guns stand up. That's kind of how I think it's going to play out. Hopefully they can all do well. And Totola gets like a 45 to 50. And we go from there. But do we end up making any trades? You look at my reserves as well. I'm really happy with the scoring for most of them. Like Levi's going to make some money if he continues something like this. So will Burbo. Strange will be fine. He's got the Tigers this week. Liam Henry with Sam Hughes, both my front row forward backups. Both got decent minutes, so I was happy with that. Joe Chan, the only real low one there. Hopefully he gets that spot again. And if he doesn't, we'll have to work that one out from there. Salmon, just a tough game for him, given he got moved from the middle. He was doing really well to the centers, and then Bostock got a late try, which helps out with his potential price gains from the start. So overall, guys, if you're looking at that squad, then pretty happy with where it's at. Obviously, there are a few potential guys to slot in sides that did go really big, It's in the fullback position, obviously it was Latrell and these types of guys that outdid Ponga. Do you switch them after 1 week? I don't think so. In the center wing, you had guys like Val Holmes, Lomax that did really well. And if you have a fair bit of cash in the bank, you could look to potentially switch things around there. But I think the center wing wasn't too bad overall. And even guys that had lower games in the Rogers and these types of players, that they should have big games in them. They all had a base stat type of games. In the front row forward, it was really Terrell and also Flegler that really stood out, that were cheaper, apart from going up to Payne Haas and Tino and these types of guys. So do you look at moving to one of those guys from the Spencer Lenyus and that type of thing? In the 2RF, it wasn't really great overall. It was the guys that were a bit more expensive, in the Olakuatus, the Cartwrights, Hoskings, these types of guys that did really well. Eli Katoa was solid also. So they're all guys to look at. Halfback position, we know it's the top two guys. 5/8 was pretty solid overall with like Dearden, Brooks, Flanagan scoring a try. These all these guys doing pretty solidly. Robson was kind of the clear standout up top. Jeremy Marshall-King not so much as well. So they're the kind of standouts, the notables. Obviously, guys, prices don't change until round 3. So that's something to note in your sides as well. 69k in the bank for myself. Again, the only real worries in the side right now is what's happening with Piakura and his head knock. Totola would like a slightly better score. I've got both for more up in the on the bye this week. I just moved Salmon and I changed Benchaboyevich down into my centre wing. We'll have to see what I do in this 2RF position. That reserve will be on Beaufortmore's replacement if he is the one trade I do make, and I think it probably is one at best. And very happy with the rest of the side. So we'll work that one out when we do go through the Supercoach trades video. But it's really just depend on Piakura and how he ends up if I do definitely make that trade, because I'm a little bit light with my 17th option if I don't make that trade, because obviously Sam is just a placeholder for the reserve at the moment, and we'll make some decisions on that from there. But let's go into so I got my private group there, 6 out of 69, so I'm very happy with where I'm at in a lot of the tougher leagues. So you can see there I'm 28,000th overall, but in all these tough leagues, like you got Playbook League, the beers and break evens, like I'm 1,800 out of 11,500. My community league, 18th out of 149. So I'm in the top sort of section, which is lovely. Won my Podmasters head-to-head league, which is cool. Let's jump into the Podmasters league now, guys, just to see where everyone's at. So I'm 18th out of 97, and that'll give us all the guys here. So it's 1,066 from Dom and 1,031 from Alex, 993 from Ted, 971 and 968 from Luke and Brandon there to round out the top 5. So congrats to those guys, and shows I'm not too far behind at 18th there. You probably see some names that you do follow. There's 97 people in the Podmasters lead. So all the guys that do have some type of podcast or do content in some way, shape or form. But I'm very happy to be sitting in 18th at the moment. You'll see some notable guys obviously in here as well. You had Ryan from the Supercoach 365. You got Rob Sutherland, who's up there at 881. So it's a really cool league to follow if you can try and follow it. And obviously through my videos is going to be helpful. Kane, who runs this. You got Guru with his Grizzlies, 868. Nathan Brain there. We'll see Josh as well. Maxwell Mania down there. Tim Moody, who won a bunch of years ago. Plenty of guys. Trent Copeland was up there. So heaps of guys that you want to follow in here. So I'll go through all of those for you guys in the round results video each week. Sangster in there as we're scrolling through. Tim with 827, not his best score, obviously. Brian, General Physio down there at 811. It's really cool to see all the names that you do see in this one as well. Clementine, you'll see on SC Playbook sometimes as well. Scoop, unfortunately, a tough one for him, 767, right near the bottom. So hopefully a massive bounce back for Scoop coming into round 2. And so that's that. That's my general thoughts on my squad. We'll get into my head-to-head squad now. Well then, it was very much less exciting for the head-to-head squad here. I did play Burbo in my squad, and that didn't even help me out that much because a lot of my big scorers, unfortunately, I didn't have the pods that went big, and we end up having Ponga and also Drinkwater, which we'll get into in a sec. But 80,900 overall, not the best start. The projected in round 2 looks pretty good at 1,009. So we'll get into that obviously throughout this video. But I did leave a lot of cash in the bank. You'll see here about 214k, which is awesome. Supercoach Plus, so have that in my main team. Thank you very much. But yeah, let's just jump in. We've got it all here, which is cool. But Brandon Smith, the 48 as well, had Flegler, which is great. He saved me a little bit. The 214 in the bank is going to help me get Lenu up to like a Terrell. And we'll see if we do decide to make a secondary trade. The 2RF are a little bit more stacked here than my side, obviously. Cleary Hines, I went Brown, no Metcalf in there, Roger instead of Zach Labart, and then Drinkwater down as well. So there's your 100 points quite clearly. But this is a team that, if Ponga and Drinkwater could definitely go nuts in any of these weeks coming up, and we have no worries at all. Like Roger could go bang as well. So this is a team that is pretty well set up. We had Tupanua and Lenu, so both low scores there. Thankful for Flegler with his try. That definitely rounded out my score a little bit more. And yeah, projected to go a bit better than my team, which is funny. But this head-to-head, guys, is one where I've got a couple of cash leagues as well to look at. So that's where the point of this head-to-head one was, to do it properly, just put a little bit of money in there just to with Whisperer through his leagues there. And just put it a little bit on that, and just make sure that I'm playing the head-to-head leagues properly. They do play through the bye period as well, so we're gonna have to focus on that as well. And unfortunately, I did lose both of them, close-ish in the 25, big margin in the 50, unfortunately, and then well down the pecking order, unfortunately, in the beers and break evens in the back half, and my community there 101st out of 149. So plenty of things that need to improve, but did win that 4 and 20 pies one against Anthony. Unlucky mate with a 763. Did still beat out Scoops with this team, sadly. We really both need to kick up a gear in this one, but I suppose from there really is not too much to say further on that, given we already went through the private group to see who's leading that one as well. So it's Kate Mars, I think, up top, Sean, Anthony, Jake, and then Kim in the top 5 with Mr. Top 5 in my team. So there you go, the Schnackenhausens. But we'll have to come up with a good name for my head-to-head one as well, if anyone wants to come up with one. I was thinking of potentially, I do like the Schnackenhausens, but changing, because I don't have Pap in the team here, is to do something to do with Labart and Metcalf, given they were my pods for the week. Let me know what you would look to do in that side, and if maybe the Schnackenhausens could be, probably can't change now, can I? Something for this JB head-to-head team, because it's pretty boring, that's for sure. But Lanu's looking like a potential trade out to me. Tupanua we could muck around with as well, obviously at 398. Very interested to see what the team lists throw up, but once that happens, we'll be able to make some moves. But it's more just like, what do we do? I didn't go for Taint or Piki. Do we look to try and play someone instead of Hutcho is the question, or do we back like an Ethan Strange up against the Tigers? These are all question marks to answer in this side, and hopefully we can have a bit of a better score next week with Lane getting 41, obviously there as well. Not great to go along with Tupanua's 26. And just sort of no big scores overall, and that should definitely turn around, I think, very quickly in this side, and I think we'll be fine going forward. One head-to-head loss isn't going to end our season, and 214 in the bank is great news going forward. So thanks for watching our round results video, guys. We'll get the fantasy one out next once the lockout is lifted, and I hope you guys have an absolutely awesome day.